Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we'll look at a very exciting game in London, played by the rising chess prodigy, Gukesh Damaraju, which he played today in Qatar, and he played the London. To provide some context, Gukesh is actually not having a good tournament, and he needed to win, and so London is the opening he decided to choose. He's playing against Kevlishvili, rated in the low to mid 2500s, a very strong player. And we have d4, knight f6, bishop f4, the London, e6 by Kevlishvili, e3, normal London move, and c5, which makes perfect sense. Black is challenging the center. He might continue with d5. He might continue with b6. He might continue with queen b6. Gukesh plays a normal move, knight f3. And now again, a number of moves are possible. Again, d5, knight c6, pawn b6. But Kevlishvili plays bishop e7, which is fine. He gets ready to castle. And Gukesh plays a very unusual move. Plays pawn h4, which has never been seen before in the Lichess database. But of course, h4 makes sense. In case black castles, white can throw this pawn up the board. And he's just waiting to see what black does. Okay, b6 by Kevlishvili to prepare bishop here. But the downside of that move is now Gukesh plays knight c3, because now he can try something like knight b5, and this might get a little bit unpleasant. Kevlishvili takes. Gukesh decides. Oh yeah, by the way, one thing to note is if black continues bishop b7, which is a logical move, play knight b5, knight a6. Now we could jump in here, but we don't even need to rush with this. We can just play c3, support the center. We have a very nice knight. This idea is still very much possible. And if black tries to stop that idea with a move like d5, we can still attack on the other side of the board with a move like g4, or we can simply play a developing move, bishop d3. Let's return to the game. In the game, Kevlishvili takes. Gukesh takes with the knight. The point of this move, he is freeing this square for the queen. So, for example, if black were to try to stop this move with a6, we play queen f3. Notice the rook cannot move because of this. If black plays d5, black and our queen. Now again, we can develop with bishop d3, and we have really nice development. Or we can start with an attack on the king with the move pawn g4. In the game, Kevlishvili decides to castle. Gukesh plays knight b5, threatening to come in here. Also maybe going here. Kevlishvili plays the best move. He stops both of those jumps. Gukesh improves the queen with tempo, attacking the rook. Kevlishvili develops the knight, blocks that rook. And Gukesh castles long with the idea to put something on this square. Now, if Kevlishvili wanted to play a move like d5, to stop this, notice the rook is now on the same line as the queen, so we can play a move pawn e4. Of course, black can take and attack our queen, but we don't take right away. We simply recapture. The queen is still attacked. We have 5 pieces in the game. The bishop can come easily. The attack on the king already began. It's not pleasant for the black king. Let's return to the game. In the game, Kevlishvili plays bishop b7, improving the bishop. Now this rook might be able to move. Gukesh tries to open the king. Kevlishvili drives our knight away from the square. Gukesh jumps to d6, as expected. Kevlishvili takes, Gukesh takes back. Kevlishvili tries to gain some control of the center with f5. Gukesh switches the queen on the same line as the king. Pawn b5 by Kevlishvili, gain a little bit more space, stopping a move like bishop c4. Maybe the pawn will keep going. Gukesh plays a very interesting move now. He trades bishops and brings the queen. Black can try to trade queens with d5, but Kevlishvili did not like this endgame. All the black pawns seem to be on the light squares, and this is not very pleasant. So Kevlishvili decides, in response to queen c7, to play the best move, bishop c8, because this pawn was also attacked. So he saves the bishop, he defends the pawn, and he can force the queen out of here very quickly. And now Gukesh plays a very nice move. He plays g4 to open this line to the king and to open this diagonal to the king. Very nice move by Gukesh. Kevlishvili attacks the knight. Also, maybe he'll try to open the king. Knight a4 by Gukesh, saving the knight. Kevlishvili now takes, also attacking the pawn. And Gukesh drops the queen back. He can take this pawn later. He defends this pawn. Pawn d5. Kevlishvili gains some space. Gukesh attacks the pawn twice. Also now this rook might be able to come here. Rook b8. Possibly, well, stopping this. There is possibility of maybe pushing here at some point. Rook g1. Okay, this is obvious. Gukesh is trying to cause trouble. Bishop d7, connecting the rooks. Also making sure this one is defended just in case the knight wants to move. Gukesh gets his pawn back. Now, some ideas exist on this line. King h8 by Kevlishvili. Maybe he can play rook here. Maybe he doesn't want to be in the spin. Computer wants to play pawn e4 to try to open the position, but Gukesh plays a more safe move, king b1. Generally useful move when you castle long. And Kevlishvili here makes a mistake. Knight a7. So the pawn of knight a7, he attacks the knight. And it looks like this knight has no good spots. Pawn b3, of course, is not great. But Kevlishvili missed a beautiful move by Gukesh, which is knight c5, sacrificing the knight. The point, of course, is the queen is needed to cover this square. Kevlishvili saw this. He just did not calculate far enough. He took the knight. Gukesh took the pawn. Obviously, the point is attack. This is attack. This is attack. Kevlishvili saw all this, of course. He brings the queen back. He defends the bishop. He defends the pawn. But now h6, triple attacking. The pawn, black cannot triple defend with the rook. This position we can just take. Rook takes back. And white is attacking with all the pieces. It's a rook for a knight and a bishop, but black pieces are not great. There is pressure here. This rook is about to come here to put even more pressure. For example, let's say bishop e6, rook g5, quadruple attacking this pawn. And if black does this, queen e5 ends the game. Let's pretend black controls the square and plays something like bishop c6. Now we can take this pawn. Black takes back. Now we can distract the queen by playing this move. This is really, really, really pretty. Very nice attacking idea by Gukesh. So what else can he do? Well, if he takes here, we fork. If he moves here, we take this one, and then we take this one. Well, the best move in this position was pawn g6. The problem is after pawn g6, this diagonal opens. Queen e5 would be played. You cannot block with the rook because this rook will fall. If you block with the queen, now white just wins back material. Takes. White is up a pawn. Black can try to get this pawn back, but this is double attacked, and white will be up a pawn again, and white has a bishop for knight. But okay, black has some chances to try to survive. In the game, Kevlishvili makes a terrible mistake. He takes. This diagonal once again is open. Gukesh plays queen e5. Again, if you block with the rook, you lose this rook. Kevlishvili blocks with the queen. And now Gukesh finishes the game with a beautiful tactic. I will pause and have you find it. I hope you were able to find the beautiful move, rook check, which distracts the rook from the queen. The only move is rook here. Queen takes, but it doesn't end here. It's not just that black loses the queen. He loses the game. Black has to play rook g7. White piles up on the pawn. Black can try to defend, but of course that rook can just be captured. And it's game over. Very nice attack by Gukesh. One of my favorite moves in the game was the move pawn g4. Temporary sacrifice, just open up this diagonal, open up this line. And then of course, always look for forcing moves, even if they look like they lose a piece. A move like knight c5, distracting the queen from this square, was very, very, very impressive. Very nice game by Gukesh. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, please subscribe. I'll be back soon. Thank you.